EZTM GSC is the only enterprise in Russia which designs and produces the equipment of tube welding plants for manufacturing tubes of various sections and shapes. We are glad to introduce EZTM design. The electrostyle heavy engineering works produces welding plants for manufacturing tubes of large, medium and small diameter. The present plant is intended for production of tubes of medium and small diameter. Each of these plants is a massive complex consisting of the mill itself as well as tube finishing facilities such as tube straightening machines, tube beveling machines, hydro testing press, NDT devices, packing machines and etc. EZTM GSC has designed and delivered about 80 continuous electric welding plants, which operate on the territory of Russia and abroad with equal success. Welded tubes of small and medium diameter manufactured on these plants are the successful substitution for more expensive seamless tubes in some industries. The equipment of the plants mentioned above can be arranged different ways depending on the customer's needs. Tube electric welding plant is intended for production of round and shaped tubes, square, rectangular. Coil strip is used as a continuous round tube billet with one straight longitudinal butt. Billet edges are heated up with HF currents and are welded into a continuous round tube. The round tube is sized in shape and length in the sizing mill. Shaped tubes are formed from round tube billets in the shaped sizing mill. Shaped tube section and round tube section are equal. Coil receiver. It receives coils from the rack and transfers them in a feed position to the uncoiler. Coil receiver represents a reversible frog with 4 arms with a turned drive from the electric motor. Charge car. It is intended for single-piece coil taking and transferring onto the bar chuck of the uncoiler. A clamp fixed on the car takes a coil off, grasping it on the outer diameter. Uncoiler. It is intended for single-piece coil taken from the charge car and transferring it to the position of uncoiling and strip straightening. The uncoiler is a turntable driven from the hydraulic cylinder. There are 2 drive shafts with bar chucks installed on the turntable. The uncoiler is provided with a clamping jaw fixing a coil in a vertical position of uncoiling, an upper pinch roller and an opener for a front edge. Flattening machine. It is intended for strip straightening. Flattening machine consists of 5 pinch rollers, 3 of which are fixed on the frame and the other 2 are installed on the lifting bar. All rollers have a group drive from the electric motor by means of pinion stand and universal joint shafts. Bar lifting is produced by the hydraulic cylinder. The strip is fed into the guillotine shears after being flattened. Guillotine shears are intended for cut-off of front and back ends of the strip and defective areas cut out. Guillotine shears are of upcut type. They include lower movable support with a blade installed on a covered stand. The support is driven by the hydraulic cylinder. Guillotine shears are equipped with scrap boxes and runners. butt welding machine. It is designed for welding of back and front butts of the two successive coils together for providing continuous tube manufacturing. The mill is provided with exit shears for automatic adjustment of strip ends in the welding area. Strip ends are seized before cutting and are transferred in that position to the welding area. That prevents from additional adjustment. Welding is of electric arc type in inert gas medium. Multi-use sides plates can be used for high-quality welding of strip ends. Continuous strip is fed to the strip receiver by pinch rows. Strip receiver is intended for storing of strip during two coils butt welding. Strip receiver is a spiral with a vertical axis of internal guide and a discharging device. It puts the strip in a spiral on the edge. Strip receiver consists of a turntable with a carrier and a roller guide, an immovable roller table with a roller guide, vertical pinch rows installed before coil receiver for moving the strip into it, supporting roller for moving the strip out of the strip receiver. Forming mill is intended for roll forming of continuous strip into a round billet with one longitudinal joint ready for welding. The mill consists of successive unitized vertical and horizontal stands. Formed tube billet is fed into the tube welder. Tube welder directs and holds, presses and welds longitudinal billet edges, heated up by HFC, removes external flash and smooths the surface of the seam. The machine consists of guiding and welding stands, an external deseaming machine and a smoothing stand. Edges are heated up by HFC. Edge angle and tension mode are regulated by transferring of the welding stand along the tube axis. Welded tube is supplied to the water spray cooling machine. Cooling machine is designed for tube seam cooling. The machine consists of two successive chambers. Cooling fluid feeding is performed through the slot sprayer along the whole length of the chambers. Tubes are transferred to the shaping and sizing mill after cooling. Shaping and sizing mill is intended for cold shaping and sizing of cylindrical tubes and length sizing. Horizontal drive stands and vertical non-drive stands, same ones as of the forming mill, are used for this purpose. Shaping 4-roll stands are used for shaping round tubes into square or rectangular ones. Horizontal rolls have a group drive. Length sizing is performed into the straightening stands. The straightening stand consists of a bed on which two 4-roll cartridges on plates are installed. The plates are provided with vertical turn mechanism and the stand itself has horizontal turn mechanism. Tube straightening is performed by the respective adjustment of rolls and turning of stands on the frame. The inspection equipment installed after the straightening stands checks the quality of the welded joints. All the defective areas revealed are marked with a paint marker. Continuous tube is fed into tube cutting machine after sizing and cutting procedures. Tube cutting flying machine is intended for cutting moving continuous tube to certain length. The machine has a bed with guiding stands on which a car with a saw blade is moved by rack and pinion drive. Tubes of exact length are supplied to the outgoing roller table. Outgoing roller table produces a gap between neighboring tubes immediately after cutting by conveying to the tube the speed higher than the speed of welding. Outgoing roller table consists of rollers driven by the electric motor. Tubes are fed to the tube collecting device. Tubes of sufficient quality and rejected tubes are fed into different pockets. When pockets are full, a batch of tubes is packed and moved to the finished products warehouse. The Electrostyle Heavy Engineering Works invites you to the business cooperation.